Arise TV scatter in the early hour of today as Rufai finally boom out in the early hour of today. This guy had boss due to the shenanigans of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was even Oji that was even coming Rufai down in a live TV show in the early hour of today. Things are going wrong. Tinubu is doing a lot in this country. As a matter of fact, whether we like it or not, Nigeria is hijacked by this so-called APC people. Tinubu have hijacked the Nigeria system. Everything as far as Nigeria is concerned is hijacked. Whether we like it or not, the truth remains that Nigeria is enslaved by Bola Ahmed Tinubu cabinet at the moment. The only thing that can save Nigeria, according to report now, is only revolution. There's no amount of votes that can make these people to leave power. Come and see what happened in the early hour today. Nothing must happen to Rufai of Arise TV. Rufai couldn't hold it again. Obedient. I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can't share it, just like it as you're watching, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. I'm going to show you the video in this very video. Just stay connected to Obedient. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and do well to click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in 3 hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know with immediate effect. A lot is going on in the political zone. Nigeria have finally been hijacked. Whether we like it or not, the truth remains that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his APC cabinet and his cabas, they have finally hijacked Nigeria. It now remains for Nigerians to withdraw themselves from these people's hand. They are already enslaving Nigeria. Whether we like it or not, they are enslaving Nigeria at the moment. Rufai had boss in the early hour today due to the shenanigans that APC people and Bola Ahmed Tinubu performed in the early hour today. Come and see what these people is doing. I will play you the videos in this video and you will see things for yourself. Nigeria is not for the common man. Whether we like it or not, Nigeria is not for the common man. The common man cannot receive justice in Nigeria, and the common man cannot receive the dividends of Nigeria. Nobody can enjoy the dividends of Nigeria as far as these people remain in power. Obedient, I'd like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, ensure you share it. Share it now. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can't share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. So that it will get to the last posting. You know, I used to say it in many of my videos. I said, this is not the time for Nigerians to lack information. This is not the time for Nigerians to lack information based on what these evildoers are doing in the Aso Rock chambers. This is not the time for Nigerians to be sleeping with their 2 eyes closed without knowing what Tinubu and his people are doing in Aso Rock chamber. Come and see what is going on. You know, it was some days ago that Tinubu released a budget where he said he wanted to buy presidential yacht and all of that. And a lot of people keep asking questions that what did Tinubu want to use presidential yacht to do? And Tinubu did not stop there. He said they wanted to buy car for the office of the first lady, and they want to use billions of naira. All this money are billions. He said they want to use billions of naira to renovate the office of the first lady and all of that. And this money in question is not Tinubu's money. They call it the money of the federal government, and this money is your money and my money. Now, according to the constitution, the office of the first lady is not existing. And mind you, it was this same Tinubu wife that came out some days ago during the inauguration of Tinubu, and she opened her mouth and said it to the general public that she and her husband did not need the money of Nigerians to do anything. That God has blessed them with financial wealth, that they are contented with the money that God has given to her and her family and all of that. And it is that same woman that they want to use Nigerian money to buy SUV cars for his convoy and all of that. Come and see what is going on. So that is by the way. Now, something tragic is happening. Tinubu released a budget where he said he wants to borrow 7 trillion naira from international community, and it was this same Tinubu that said that Buhari left Nigeria in a big debt. And by the way, Nigeria was in the debt of 87 trillion naira before. Now Tinubu said he wants to borrow 7-point-something trillion naira alongside, and they have not refunded the former money. And it was even in the former money that Tinubu was buying car for the senators, was buying car for his wife, and they were renovating the house of the president and all of that. And mind you, these people said they want to release palliative for the subsidy that was removed, but they did not release any palliative, but they gave billions of naira to the senators to settle their bills and all of that as their own palliative. But now Tinubu said he wants to go and borrow another money that amount to around 7-point-something trillion naira, alongside with the former Nigeria debt of 87 trillion naira. So everything will round up around 94 trillion naira. Nigeria is having the debt of 94 trillion naira. Now they said they want to borrow the money, and Tinubu carry his budget to the House of Assembly and all of that. But come and see what happened in the House of Assembly. That is what we want to call your attention to, Nigerians. Nigerians, a lot is happening in this country called Nigeria. Come and see what they did to Tinubu in the House of Assembly. Rufai couldn't cry in the LA of today when this whole thing was done. Everywhere scattered, everywhere paused. What they did to Tinubu in the House of Assembly is so lugubrious that this thing is not to be taken. Nigerians are not to take this thing. We are not slaves in this country. Nobody can enslave us. That is our agitation at the moment. Come and see what they did to Tinubu in the House of Assembly. Akpabio is in total trouble today because Akpabio is the demon in the House of Assembly that is terrorizing Nigerians at the moment. Don't worry, just stay connected to the end of this video. I will show you what Akpabio and his other colleagues did in the House of Assembly to Bola Ahmed Tinubu that got Nigerians crying today. And that is, by the way, now Tinubu have not even borrowed the 7.7 trillion naira that he said he wants to go and borrow in the international community. Now Wike came out in the early hour of today and he said he wants to build a new house for the vice president, the person of Kashim Shettima. Wike, as the minister of FCC that they make him to be, he said he wants to build a new house for the vice president that will cost him 50 billion naira. Come and see what these people are doing. They do not have the masses in their mind. Wike is a disgrace to Nigeria, according to what he said in the early hour of today. 15 billion naira for a new house from the money that Tinubu wants to go and borrow, and this money is going to be paid by the future generations. These people that are borrowing the money and are using the money to be living their luxurious lifestyle, all of them would have died when the people that they borrow the money for will come for them. And when the people come, they will meet the future Nigeria on ground. It is Nigerian future that they're going to meet. It is a generation that is unborn that is going to repay the money. Now, they have not even borrowed the money. Wike is already 9th part of the money. 50 billion for a new house for the vice president. Come and see what is going on when masses have not even seen 2 square meters to eat. These people are doing their shenanigans. Stay connected, Obedient. I'm going to play you all the video in this video. Stay connected. I'm coming back again.
On your mandate, we shall stand, which was used to usher in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu before he presented the budget. Well, let's take a listen before we come back for a discussion.
So, distinguished colleagues and honorable members, let us at this point welcome the President, a man with track record, an alumnus of the National Assembly, to present his budget estimates. Can we give him a resounding applause?
Well, all right, let's take some reactions. This is the big wig. His tweet reads, National Assembly singing for Tinubu. We have witnessed rubber stamp Senate under Ahmed Lawan, but this Godswill Akpabio Senate is a collection of hype men. He has moved from wearing Tinubu's insignia cap to on your mandate hyperlord, right on the floor of the Senate. Every well-meaning Nigerian must condemn this rendition of Tinubu's campaign tune in the National Assembly chamber, an evidence of outright totalitarianism. Dr. Abati.
I agree with, what do you call that person?
Big wig.
Big wig. Is that a name?
Yes.
Okay.
On Twitter.
But in any case, what he's saying makes sense.
Big wig Austin. His name is Austin.
This is how it starts. Hero worship.
Yes, so
This is how parliaments in Africa turn their presidents into dictators. The National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if you check both chambers, both red and green, it's a collection of members from different political parties. Labour Party is there, PDP is there, APGA is there, you know, other political parties are there. So it's a place for lawmaking, for good governance, an oversight assembly. This kind of open sycophancy is primitive. if I may use that word. On your mandate we stand is the slogan, is the song, for the APC.
Right.
So the APC cannot hijack a bipartisan National Assembly, where there are other political parties representing the interests of Nigerians. And if you look at the result of the election, it's not every Nigerian that is standing on the mandate of President Tinubu. When the president arrives at an occasion, the appropriate thing to play is the national anthem.
Correct.
And I hope that these lawmakers are not going to pursue the idiocy of playing APC song at public events. The recognized song in Nigeria is the national anthem. If they want, and the presentation of the budget before the National Assembly is a national occasion, not an APC occasion. So that's, something to be really condemned. But we do not expect that this show of sycophancy will continue, and not that sycophancy on your mandate will stand. They've already passed the budget before even looking at it.
All right, Rufai, if you recall, I did take this story where, Tinubu had this FEC meeting and they played this actual tune. But I said it was because he had just been announced or affirmed president of Nigeria. He was in a group of his people and they had to play that tune. However, it's not the first time, Dr. Abati, you are saying that they shouldn't play it in public. If you recall, during the Niger crisis, I know that the president is the ECOWAS chair, they played the same song of allegiance there.
The allegiance will be to the constitution, not to an individual.
Dr. Rufai is...
I'm blowing hair this morning because... God help me. At first, shame on all our National Assembly members that were seated there where another song of allegiance were played. Shame. And if we truly had a country, if we truly had a republic, by now, those in their constituency should be sending them letters to show how disgruntled they are, and if possible, recalling them. It is that bad. We're losing a country with sycophancy. But it's not only Tinubu. It happened during Buhari's administration. Remember how people were wearing Buhari's insignia on their body? Now everybody's wearing his cap and all of that. What level of madness have we got into in this country? It's a whole new level of madness. What level of madness are we doing? At the hollow chamber? By playing that song, a partisan song, they desecrated the hollow chamber. And they must account for it. Let's go back history. Do you know what caused the first English Civil War? The king tried to overreach himself in the parliament and the parliamentarians kicked against it. King Charles I. It led to the emergence of Oliver Cromwell, the Lord Protector of England. The parliament is for the people of Nigeria. Parlement. The meaning of the parliament is parlement, to speak on behalf of the people. Not to do political sentiment and hypocrisy or listen to songs of allegiance posed to a certain political party. And there were some other lawmakers there, they couldn't talk. How would they be able to talk? Maybe we're telling Labour Party lawmakers, when they were part of those that collected the 160 million for cars, will they have the nerve to speak? We're telling lawmakers from other parties to discountenance that they didn't do it. But how will they be able to talk? We forget in a hurry, Oji. We forget that there are three co-equal arms of government in this country. The judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. President Tinubu is the head of one equal arm, the executive. The legislature has the head of his own arm. But we have a legislature that don't even know themselves, and they are kowtowing to the executive. They are worse than copy and paste now. They are worse than rubber. They are hype men, as Big Wig called them.
Hype men.
So shame on all of them for not understanding that they are a co-equal arm of government in this country, and they are singing an allegiance song.
Well, all right.
To the executive. You can see where we started.
Yeah, I thought it was important to highlight it. We don't need the hype men at the National Assembly. DINO MELAYE on Wednesday announced that he will not challenge the electoral victory of the All Progressives Congress before the State Election Petition Tribunal. MELAYE, who came third in the election, alleged that the judiciary is no longer independent, but a department of the APC, and called on all opposition political parties of Nigeria to boycott all future elections until the current INEC constituted by APC members is dissolved. Let's take a listen.
I hereby call on all political parties to boycott future elections in this country until Mahmoud Yakubu and the corrupt commissioners of INEC are completely dissolved and a new credible INEC constituted. That is when we can have democracy. If we fail to do that, participation by political parties will mean legitimizing, endorsing, and promoting the illegality that is ongoing. So I call on all political parties to boycott future elections and allow them to run a one-party state, because our non-participation will definitely will definitely deny them the legitimacy they need to carry on.
Well, I think that Dino MELAYE is right on one score. If you recall, yesterday there was that citizens town hall, was it on Tuesday, where the former INEC chair called for the unbundling of INEC. Dr. Bati.
Well, but I think the bigger point that Dino MELAYE was making would be his attack on the judiciary. He says that Nigerians have lost trust and confidence in the judiciary, and he went ahead to label the Nigerian judiciary. He says the judiciary in Nigeria now is an arm of the APC, a wing of the ruling party, All Progressives Congress. Well, I think that's a bit on the very harsh side, but he expresses the sentiment of many others who seem to have lost faith in the judiciary, including members of, generally of the opposition party. He also criticized INEC, that INEC under Professor Yakub Mahmoud, has also lost any claim to independence. And he cited the fact that in Kogi State, pre-filled result sheets were seen even before election took place. And that's the specific thing that happened in Ogurimagongo local government area, where in about 9 out of the major polling units, results had been released even before people left their homes. And you recall that in that November 11 election in Kogi State, 5 local government areas had their, election cancelled, and they had to have a rerun in those those areas of Okene, Adavi, Ogurimagongo, Ajaukuta, so that was what happened. He was referring to that. But more importantly, he's saying that INEC should be dissolved.
Yes, I thought that was the most
And you are right, it came up at the citizens town hall meeting organized by IAGA along with the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on election matters. Okay, because people are worried about the true independence of INEC. And so they are saying you can't have an electoral body that is supposed to be an unbiased umpire populated by partisan members of the ruling party.
We have to emphasize this. This is the most important.
So this is part of the electoral reform process, but let's just put it on record that he came third. And the margin of lead between Usman Ododo and his group self, and even Ajaka of the SDP who came second, the margin of lead is so wide. So apart from all those basic points that Dino MELAYE made, he's also been very pragmatic. That with the number of votes, how many votes did he get? 75,000.
That's not going to challenge
the margin is so wide, there's no need. And then of course, it's not cheap to go and recruit lawyers and go to the tribunal, the logistics involved, the finances involved. I saw somebody say he has settled with the judge, he was not going to pay his lawyer. No, when you recruit a lawyer to go and represent you, you must pay. A liberal deserves its wages.
Absolutely.
So maybe the pragmatism for Dino MELAYE is, look, let me not waste money for that. But that's on the latter.
Absolutely, I love that. But as the opposition, he has to keep speaking. Rufai, you wanted to say something?
We can laugh all we want, but what Mr. Dino MELAYE has said is so important.
Yes, we have to continue.
And as far as I'm concerned, we are joking. I will just say this again quickly. If President Tinubu can truly abide by the Ways report by removing his hand and the hand of the president from whoever picks those in INEC, I will celebrate him every day when he does that.
Fantastic.
But I dare him to do that.
All right.
I want him to do that. But we hardly see that, because as far as I'm concerned, will you call what happened in Kogi elections? The results were written before the...
Well, all right.
Please, yeah.
Well said. Here's some weekend on Thursday. Said plans are on the way to spend 15 billion naira for the construction of a new residence for the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Wike disclosed this when he appeared before a House of Representatives committee to defend the FCT 61.5 billion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Wike told the lawmakers that the construction of a new residence for the Vice President was approved in 2010 by the Federal Executive Council at the cost of 7 billion naira, but that the project was abandoned. The lawmakers questioned the minister on why he plans to spend such an amount on a building or building an edifice for the Vice President. Well, Wike said that it was to give the Vice President a befitting residence. All right. I mean, this is it. This is what we are facing. This is what we are facing. 15 billion naira for the residence of the Vice President. Let me just read something. Back in November, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had signed, the 2.17 trillion supplementary budget into law, and in that Appropriation Act, the federal government allocated 2.5 billion naira to the renovation of the Aguda House as the Vice President's residence. Another 3 billion was earmarked in the 2023 supplementary budget for the renovation of the Vice President's residence in Lagos. The government also earmarked 4 billion for the refurbishing of the presidential residential quarters and an additional 4 billion for the construction of an office complex within the state. I mean, Dr. Abati, please, you have been around the government. 15 billion naira, is that what we should be spending? I mean, why is it important to build a new residence, not refurbish, not renovate, build a new residence for the Vice President? He does have a place to live.
I think we keep making this point again and again. That many of our leaders in positions are not sensitive to the feelings of Nigerians. The way Mr. Wike was reported as stated in the newspapers, I mean, many Nigerians will feel scandalized.
Absolutely.
Because the point is, the Nigerian government is always telling us to make sacrifices, but we don't see our leaders making enough sacrifice. Look at the National Assembly members in considering the appropriation bill that has now been brought by the president. They are more interested in constituency projects, how palliatives can be handed over to them to execute. So this is part of the problem. We keep getting the kind of wrong signaling. Now, what is Mr. Wike's explanation when he was defending the supplementary budget? Number one, he said that it was the military that built Aguda House. Aguda House is up to now the official residence of the Vice President of Nigeria. Now, as you pointed out, we have been told that 2.5 billion was earmarked for the renovation of that Aguda House in the 2023 supplementary budget, and that has been passed by the National Assembly. So what happens to that 2.5 billion that has been passed? An additional 2.8 billion to renovate the residence of the Vice President in Lagos. So one would think that, okay, if renovation would help to give the place, to make the place more befitting, you can't argue to that. But Mr. Wike is insisting that the way the Vice President of Nigeria can have a befitting residence is for a brand new edifice to be erected. While there may be people who agree with that, many Nigerians will also say this is not the time for that.
Absolutely not.
And the contractor has increased the cost of this new edifice from 7 billion to 15 billion. I mean, inflation over a period of 30 years. Yeah. No, we understand. Yeah. We understand, to 15 billion naira. And the minister is saying FCT has already provided for 5 billion to start the work. Okay, we should go and check. When that building was approved in 2010, has some work been done there? Has the contractor collected some money? What is the state of the construction?
But he clearly said that it was abandoned. It hasn't been built.
Well, if he says it was abandoned, it means something was started. Okay? It means something. If it's an abandoned project, some processes must have gone into it. Well, the lawmakers should have asked for details in that regard.
Why was it abandoned in the first place?
Well, subsequent administrations didn't consider it a priority.
Thank you.
So they just left it at that level. If the renovation of the building is done, I think this is one of those projects we can keep on hold. And I'm sure that the vice president is not the one pushing for it.
I'm sure.
It's Minister Wike pushing for it and saying he will deliver the building by May 2023. There must be some other priorities that he can treat as a matter of urgency. Maybe when the economy improves and Nigerians are in a better place, if they like, they can go and build 50 billion structure. But for now, Nigerians say that would be a lot. Now, Minister Wike said something that was even surprising there. 60 million had been earmarked for publicity in the supplementary budget. Now he says he has increased it to 2.8 billion for publicity.
I saw that. And
when the question was asked, he said, no, you have to use money to make money. Now, this publicity, what is it? Placement of adverts? How will publicity be used to make more money?
Yes,
so these are the kind of expenditures that people are worried about, and our public officials should just be sensitive to the feelings of Nigerians.
His to pepper his enemies now. Can't you remember when he said we've given some people newspaper, we didn't give some people? His to pepper cause his enemies. Oji, all I'm just going to say is, if we are sensible, if our leaders are sensible, you better cancel that 15 billion and cancel that money to be spent on renovation.
Correct.
Number 10 Downing Street, the British economy is way bigger than ours. Number 10 Downing Street is 339 years old house. That's where every world leader goes to visit the British. Guess what some prime ministers complain about number 10 Downing? It's too small. But they dare not say they want to go and build new prime minister's house.
Talk about bringing out 15 billion.
Talk about building 15 billion. Oji, that house you are seeing is 339 years old. It was started in 1682. It was completed in 1684. These guys don't care. They are wobbia. Eat. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ jẹ Nigeria run. May God not allow them eat this country to do it.
I mean, Rufai, thank you for bringing out that fact.
What is wisdom is that if you work at the altar, you can eat at the altar. But don't eat the altar itself.
This one will eat the altar. This one they want to eat Nigeria. They get Nigeria run.
All right. Well, this needs to be reviewed.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Rufai OSENI said in this video. It was Oji that was even trying to calm Rufai OSENI down in this very video, because Rufai OSENI make reference to some fact for Tinubu to go to the House of Assembly to go and deliver the budget for 2024 and all of that. And they were singing allegiance song for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is so lugubrious. Nigeria is already in total slavery of APC people. They were singing allegiance song, APC song for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the House of Assembly chamber, forgetting that there are 3 arms of government in Nigeria. We have the executive arm, which is being headed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have the legislature arm, which is being headed by Akpabio, and we have the judicial arm, which is being held by Goriola, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So all these people are the head of all these 3 divisions, but now they are already making everything to be like it is Tinubu that is heading both the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, which is not supposed to be so. There is not the democracy that we're debating for. This is not the democracy that Nigerians are aspiring for. What Akpabio did in this very video is far-fetched. It is so annoying to the extent that Nigerians have to react to all this issue, even when Labour Party representatives in the House of Assembly cannot even respond, even when the PDP representative in the House of Assembly cannot even say anything. And we know the reason why they couldn't say anything, because they couldn't say anything on a normal ground. If they should sing such an allegiance song for Tinubu, which is the APC candidate, did you see such a song? Because we already know that the House of Assembly is comprises of a lot of parties and they are all lawmakers, they are parliaments. But for Tinubu to come there as an APC candidate and they sing such an alleged song just to make it on a round that Tinubu is the sovereign lord of all the parties in that place and all of that. So that thing is so lugubrious. What Akpabio did is very, very bad. And I said it earlier, and we know the reason why the Labour Party candidates in the House of Assembly cannot say anything, because they are all thieves. All the Labour Party candidates in the House of Assembly are all thieves. All of them are thieves, and I will keep saying it. These people are not representing the common man. They are there for their stomach. You could remember when they were conducting the election and nobody know of these Labour Party candidates that are in the House of Assembly now. Nobody know them, but they used the name of Peter Obi to enter into the office. Even a bike man and Okada man back then, he won the election just because he went under Obi. He used the name of Obi, and all of them are in the House of Assembly. Mind you, when Obi was still in the tribunal fighting for his mandate, one of the Labour Party candidates came out and he was talking about Tinubu. He said he did not know that Tinubu was such a wonderful man because he did his first meeting with Tinubu and the press gave him mic to speak regarding the meeting. He said Tinubu is such a wonderful man, that my Mr. President is so wonderful, that the man is very intelligent and all of that. That is a Labour Party candidate, for crying out loud. And when Tinubu wanted to distribute cars for the office of the senators and all of that, and even the office of the first lady, Tinubu allocated 28 billion for the House of Assembly. Tinubu allocated 28 billion for the House of Assembly to buy SUV cars for them. The Labour Party candidates in that place, they couldn't say anything. All of them collected the money. They allocated 160 million for each person for their cars. All the Labour Party candidates, the PDP candidates, alongside with the APC, all of them collected the money. They collected the money from Tinubu, and all of them are now riding in a nice SUV cars, cruising in the road of Nigeria. And mind you, don't forget, when the House of Assembly wanted to go for a vacation, a break back then, Akpabio said they have sent money to the men of all the House of Assembly candidates and all of that. But when he noticed that it was in live television, he said, oh no, I'm sorry, we have sent prayers to your men to enjoy your vacations and all of that. And mind you, the money that Tinubu gave to the House of Assembly that Akpabio distributed for the candidates of the House of Assembly back then, mind you, all the money is not for APC people alone. All the Labour Party candidates in that place, all of them collected the money. They all collected the money. Now they are now singing the song of allegiance. None of the Labour Party candidates can talk. Why? Because they have eaten what will kill them. They have eaten what will hook their throats. Now all of them are corrupt. Are these the people that want to come and work under the tenure of Peter Obi and all of that? Are these people ready to work and make changes in Nigeria? Peter Obi is announcing a new Nigeria, is campaigning for a new Nigeria. Are you not telling me that these people are ready to work with Peter Obi to bring in a new Nigeria? And I will say it and I will keep saying it. And as far as Rufai OSENI is concerned, all the Labour Party candidates in the House of Assembly, all of them are thieves. They are thieves. They are working for their stomach. All they know is their stomach infrastructure. They do not want to know anything regarding the masses. That is what is happening at the moment. Now they sing the song of allegiance instead of them to even sue Akpabio. They can't even utter a word. Why? Because they have eaten from the altar of Tinubu. All of them want to eat Nigeria bent. And mind you, Tinubu wanted to go and borrow money again. He wanted to go and borrow 7-point-something trillion and add it to the debt of Nigeria, because they have finished spending the ones that were already borrowed on grant. And now all the money that Nigeria have borrowed in time past, everything amounts to around 87 trillion. Now Tinubu wants to go and borrow 7-point-something trillion and everything will sum up to around 94 trillion naira. This money, even the future generation of Nigeria cannot even pay it finish. And mind you, these people that are borrowing the money and they are spending it luxuriously, and the masses are not even seeing a dime of it, and the masses are dying of hunger every day. These people will die and live someday, and it is the future generation that will come and pay all the money. And mind you, the future generation, I stated it earlier, I said it will be very difficult for the future generation to pray for this present generation. The future generation will swear for this generation, because the problem that they did not know how it emerged and all of that, the debt that they did not know anything about, they will begin to pay it. That is what is happening at the moment. And Tinubu have not even finished borrowing the money. Wike is already coming out. Yes, Wike is already saying that he wants to remove 15 billion to build a new house for the vice president, the person of Kashim Shettima and all of that. Is it the time that Nigeria need a new house for the vice president? What are these people doing to warrant them being compensated with a building or all of that? For them to spend 50 billion for a house of the vice president. And mind you, this vice president is having a big house. They just finished renovating the house of the vice president and all of that, both in Abuja and in Lagos. They just allocated some billions of naira to renovate the house of the vice president. And now Wike is saying that he wants to build a new house for him when the masses are dying of hunger every day, when they did not increase minimum wages, when the common men are not seeing food to eat in the country. These people are not having Nigerians in mind. Now the money that Tinubu have not even borrowed, Wike is already removing money from it, doing unnecessary things. Look at what these people are doing. I've never seen a situation where people are borrowing money, or a country is borrowing money to live a luxurious life. All the countries that I know that they are borrowing money, like Dubai came to Nigeria to borrow money back then, even when Nigeria said they did not have money to borrow them. But these people went to another country to borrow the money, and they used the money to invest in their country. And now look at how Dubai have turned into. Look at what is happening. But these people in Nigeria here, they will never use Nigeria money to invest, but rather they will use it to live their luxurious lifestyle, unnecessary things. That's what they use Nigeria money to do. That's what they use the money that they're borrowing to do. And I tell you, the future generation will swear for this our present generation. But it did not stop there. Nigeria want to be running a one-party state and all of that. That is what DINO MELAYE said in this very video. He said all the parties all around Nigeria, all of them should not go for any future election again. They should not buy from, they should not do anything. Let's see how APC people will rig the election for themselves without other parties be contesting and all of that. It is until they resolve INEC chairman, it's until they dissolve Mamo Yakubu and some other INEC commissioner, and Tinubu removed his hand. That was what Rufai OSENI said. After DINO said it, Rufai said it, and Ruben Abati supported it. It is until they remove the hand of Tinubu from appointing INEC chairman and even INEC commissioners, because Tinubu need to appoint new INEC commissioners and all of that. It is until they disallow Tinubu from appointing them and all of that, he should remove his hand from appointing INEC chairman and INEC commissioner, because those are independent bodies. So Tinubu should remove his hand. That is when Nigeria can work and things will work and democracy will stand in Nigeria. So drop a opinion in the comment section on this video, as I'm going to keep another for you. And sure follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body, day for year. Pastor where the line on top, be pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor where the back, where politician where they do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.